overview of Project all its timeline, because it's eye-opening. So the first thing is, supposedly, in 2018 and 2019, there were conversations about bringing Amazon and their warehouse to Grand Island. Anybody hear about those? Right. The first time we heard about it was a WIBB story in November of 2019, where Nate McMurray sat in an interview and said, "I can't tell you if it was Amazon or not, but we know that a large e-commerce person has purchased the land," which was not true, up near Long Road. First time we had an inkling. Now, between that period of time and February 21st of this year, did we hear anything else?
No.
No. Right? On February 21st, TC Buffalo came over with a huge carton of documents, 2,200 pages for this project, and it landed with the town board. February 21st.
I fixed that.
In the first week of March, they had a public meeting to review the project with the townspeople publicly, right? To introduce everyone to Project Olive, whose lessee could not be named. Exactly 1 week later, Supervisor Whitney sent out an emergency declaration and said, "We're closed for business. It's a pandemic, stay home, we're not gonna have meetings, our advisory boards are not gonna meet. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and see you on the other side." From that period of time till early June, as far as I was aware, and I think the same would hold true for all of you, we thought the town was closed for business. But when we went through all of the documents for TC Buffalo, and their second supplement, and their third supplement, and their fourth supplement, we started noticing all the dates on those documents. Those were all in between those dates. So please don't tell us that the town was closed for business, because it was not. TC Buffalo was submitting documentation, they were getting questions from our town officials back, and they were answering them day after day after day, while we sat at home trying to be safe. Now, in early June, Supervisor Whitney came out and said, "We're going to recommence our advisory board meetings and our town board meetings, but we can't have public presence. So we're going to do them via Zoom." Now, I will tell you that 18.3% of the population of Grand Island is over the age of 65. How fair is that to those people who are not technologically competent to have meetings like that and not give them a voice? So, also in June, the second week in June, the Economic Development Advisory Board voted to recommend an independent cost-benefit study for the town to undertake, because the only economic analysis that had been done was by TC Buffalo and who they contracted with. At the end of June, actually kind of last week of June, I went to breakfast with a high school friend of mine, Maureen Phillips. And we both started talking and said, "Do you know about this project? Do you know how big this thing is? Have you talked to anybody about it?" Because I started talking to my friends and family, and they were totally unaware of this. So on July 1st, we started this coalition. And we asked friends and family and volunteers to help support doing outreach and messaging to the citizens of Grand Island to make sure that they had all the information they needed to have a voice in this conversation. Now, in mid-July, and by the way, ever since we started, believe me, we've been monitoring every single planning board and every single town board that's been going on. And in mid-July, the planning board voted 3-2 to reject the zoning variation request that TC Buffalo had submitted. A week later, the Conservation Advisory Board voted unanimously, 9-0, to recommend to the town board that it declare a type 1 seeker. This is the review, environmental and quality review that has to occur when you're going to affect a whole bunch of things in an environment. And also recommended that they do a positive declaration. What that means is they have to do a very lengthy and in-depth analysis of all the various impacts that this project would have to our community. And then the town board happened last Monday. And surprise, surprise, Project Olive was put on hold, on pause. We thought, great, except we know better. We know how Amazon plays ball, and we knew this would not be the last that we heard of them. Within 2 days, the representatives of Amazon at TC Buffalo, as well as Phillips Lytle, came out and said, no, the project isn't on pause. We're still working on it. And yet we've heard not one single official word from our town supervisor on that. So again, the project is on pause. We're in quarantine. And guess what shows up on the doorstep? The 6th supplement, which offers an incentive zoning option to put $10 million in a trust fund for the town. Why is that not a surprise? And next Monday is another town meeting where Project Olive is on the agenda. And we're going to talk about that later and talk about what we need you to do. So that's